Yes, always beautiful talking about life, talking about collaboration, talking about execution, talking about. I know some of these conversations sometimes become a bit hard because we get to hit on different places in your life and you're like, I don't want to change anything. I feel lazy about changing anything. But again, if we want to be better, if we want to grow, if we want to have a better future, there are things that we have to do now to ensure that we have the future that we want to have. So that is why you and I are on this journey. And welcome. Invite a friend, okay? And if you feel you've learned something or you're picking something out of this, share it with a friend so that they can also be able to increase their happiness. It's not magic. They're simple things, like I've told you, simple things that you can actually execute. I've executed them in my life. Some of them do not come simple, like taking personal responsibility of your life, looking for happiness in the right places. It's not that simple. It's actually easier said than done, because when situations come at us and we are living in a perpetual state of fear of what could happen, people losing jobs, people losing marriages, people, as in there's a lot of things that are happening. So striking that balance and finding a place where we can actually own our own happiness, it's a very tricky place, but again it's very achievable, because I know if I have done that, if I have achieved that, I'm still in the journey of even creating better happiness in my own life, then I know that it's very possible. You can create that happiness in your personal life, and you can be able to spread that happiness to other people, because happiness is actually contagious, okay? Let's talk about something that is not so pleasant. Uh, when you talk about moving your body, this is something that I've really realized, not just read about, because I used to read about it. I used not to be a person that likes even just moving my body, exercising, or just feeling like I've done something with my body. But remember, your body is like a machine. And once I understood that, by the way, it really, really helped me. That it's a machine that needs to do the things that needs to be done. You need to move, you need to make a certain movement. And when I actually went deep in this, that's when I discovered that, hey, there are even movement coaches. I didn't know that there were movement coaches, not just people gym and helping people exercise, but moving bodies. And do you know I didn't know that it was that important to even like squat, to even, make those weird movements, kneel. And it's not that you're kneeling for any reason, but you are kneeling so that your muscles can stretch, so that you can have that, what is it called, the flexibility of your muscles, of your feet. And because you'll find that someone that is doing, some kind of jobs, they kneel, they bend, they do all these things, their bodies are in constant movement, and it's like their bodies are being serviced, so to say. But here we are in this generation, we love being sedimentary. A sedimentary lifestyle. You wake up, for those that are driving, you wake up, walk to the car, sit in the car, drive to the workplace, go to the parking lot, get out of the parking lot, go to office, sit, and then the day goes by. And if you just maybe going to a restaurant, you still go to the car, drive to the restaurant, have food, come, get back in the car, drive to the office, or drive back home, go back home and sit with your remote in your hands, and the day is done. As in, literally, the life, that is not the life we were meant to have. I think our forefathers, they would go gathering, hunting, doing all these things. They were very active. And you realize that they lived longer. I know that my family, for sure, and actually both my families, my mother's family and my father's family, I've had not even great grandmothers, my grandmothers. On my mother's family, I've had a great grandmother that has lived 120 years old. And on my father's side, my father's mother, that is my grandmother, lived to 130. And I would look at my grandmother and I think by that time, because my father is her last born, very last born, and by the time I saw her, she was very old, very, very old. But she would still ask for a hoe not just with a long handle, but with a short one, just to make sure that she can still even do other things. She had great granddaughters, and you know, the family was full. Everyone would do anything, but she would not allow just to sit down. She had a particular designated place, spot in front of the house where she used to sit, and she would make sure that she goes and, you know, uproots some grass. She makes sure that she did certain things, even, you know, milling and doing all those things. And yes, I was young, I did not understand that. But right now, in hindsight, looking at what she used to do, I think what prolonged her life is the vigorous nature of her life and how she lived her life. And this is true for most of the people. They will tell you that, I mean, we used to do things. We used to milk. We used to take cows to, you know, out. We used to do all these things. And we are here eating all the junk. You know, we have washing machines. We have fast foods are like fast foods. You have all the gadgets in your house. So everything is simple and easy. And a simple life and an easy life sometimes creates a hard life. And I'm not saying that don't have gadgets that help you to live a simpler life. It's good to have a simpler life, but be intentional. That's what I'm saying. Be intentional. Like I made it. Gym is not so much of my friend. If you've seen me in a gym somewhere, just know I struggle to get to gym, because sometimes I would even drive, get to the gym, sit in the car, and I fail to get out of the car with my gym bag. And I'm like, you know what, let me stay here scrolling. You stay scrolling, and then you start feeling that the body is aching. You start stretching, and then you drive back home. Just imagine. But now I made a covenant with myself, and I say that, you know what, I don't necessarily need to go to gym in order for me to exercise. I can actually buy, so I bought the 5 kilogram for just working out my arms, and then I skip a rope. So I decided, I'm like, what's easy for me? In the morning, before I even hit the shower, I can skip a rope. I can do 100 something counting, and then I can be able to, you know, do my weights, and I start my day. And it has worked magic for me, that I start my day with a lot more, you know, happiness, with a lot of, I'm looking forward to the day. Instead of me just waking up because I have to take kids to school, then I have to wake up and just hit the shower, and then, you know, struggle looking for bags where you know, have you packed this? Have you put on your uniforms? And we are out of the house. I've discovered that the mornings where I do my morning routine, where I just skip a rope, where I just do my small weights, and I just get out of the house, I'm like, I've started the day on a good note, okay? And so I believe that is something that has increased happiness in my life, and I hope that it's something that can actually increase happiness in your life. The other thing that I'm going to talk about that will have me stoned, but I will still say it, living a faithful life is something that is going to improve your happiness. Try it. Living a faithful life. Whether you're in a relationship or you're in a marriage, just being faithful to your spouse, that you actually have nothing to hide, okay? You literally have nothing. Do you know the perpetual state of alertness and mindfulness that you have to practice in order to hide text messages, to delete when they just come in, to make sure that you have smaller fonts on your phone, just to make sure that no one can read the words? Do you know what it takes for our mind to be that alert just to make sure that I don't get caught? And you think that is a happy life? While you're still young and silly and foolish, you can think you love the adrenaline that comes with it. But let me tell you, and get it from an older person. As I'm getting older, I get to understand that having peace of mind, being faithful, and having nothing to hide is something that actually heightens my happiness. Because then I live a free life, okay? And if someone is bringing kwara, that is where you state you are faithful, but you set standards in your life. That in as much as you are faithful and you are a free person, no one treats you like a bathroom that they just walk in and out of your life or just do anything that they please. No, you set standards and say, I teach you how to behave in my life. In as much as I am faithful and I am free person, I will teach you how to actually treat me, because I treat myself with utmost reverence and utmost respect. Okay, so I don't know, try it. I know that it will help you in so many ways. There's something else that used to torment me back then before I found ways of heightening my own happiness, and that was living with grudges and holding on to conflicts. I used to be that kind of person. And if you asked Tim, he played a very big role in my maturity when it comes to that. Because every time I will be like, you know what, I have let go of that, but I'm just not going to forgive, or I'm not carrying resentment all the time, but I'm just keeping that person in their own corner. I don't want them to cross my path again. And so after some time, definitely with him speaking into my life, and then also definitely the maturity bit of it kicking in, I was like, you know what, I am better off a free person. Whoever wants to do anything, they can do it. And I have limits, I have standards in my own life. But again, I am going to fight and make sure that I resolve conflicts when they happen. I mean, be honest about it, talk about it, bring it on the table. Why should I wait for it? And by the way, even when you are in a relationship and in marriage, I used to be the kind who would be like, you know what, something wrong has happened, so I would just keep quiet. And then something wrong would happen next time, and then I would just keep quiet. So you bottle it in until I learned, okay, it's not actually serving. It's me. It's not helping me in any way. In any case, it is lessening my happiness, and my happiness is dwindling until I have to explode, or until I have to go into a silent mode, and until when? So I decided to liberate my own life, take my matters into my own hands. If something wrong happens, we talk about it, we address it, we resolve the conflicts. Immediately they have happened. I need a good night's sleep. Guys, I can't give that up. I need to just pursue my dreams with a lot of clarity. So why should I clog my brain with a grudge? Why should I clog my brain with resentment? That is occupying a huge space in my mind. Instead of having a sense of clarity and running in the direction of my dreams and my passion, the kind of money that I want to make, the kind of happiness that I want to make, I am there holding on to people who don't know that I'm actually holding on to them. So who is fooling who? I am actually fooling myself. So when I learned that, and I think I even gave that example when someone asked me, so you forgave that person? I was like, okay, I don't think it was that hard, because I think I matter. My happiness matters more than me holding another person and just putting them in a certain cocoon and never wanting to deal with them anymore. No, I'm going to deal. By the way, you can commit the worst crime or the worst thing that you can think on me, and I will still choose to work with your strength if I can. If I can't, I will let it go altogether, and I will not even bother myself, and I will free it from my heart and walk in the direction of my dreams. But again, if I can help it, and we're still in the same vicinity, and there are some people you think, okay, so I discard you, you go where? And I'm like,